Meghan is at it again, turning a tragedy into a PR moment with awkward pauses, name dropping, and of course, making herself the hero. Was this about helping a fire victim, or was it just another branding opportunity, or is it a complete falsehood? Let's break down the latest episode of this performative philanthropy. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. I'm making this video a little bit late, and so I might get really passionate in it, and I'm a little bit tired, but I think these are kind of the best videos that I make. So I want to remind everyone that I have a connection to these fires. My family, my aunt specifically, owns a home in Altadena. So to me, this behavior from Harry and Meghan is already a sensitive topic for me. And to see them exploiting this whole situation, and not just once, but over and over and over again. And right now, this is our latest installment of Meghan talking about how wonderful she is, helping the victims of this LA fire. Not only do I have family in the vicinity, I grew up in that area and I still live close to that area. And because there was a fire watch pretty much all of Southern California, especially in my region, I had the news on every single day. The day these two made that trip was Friday, January 10. I remember that specifically, that it was Friday. To verify, the same day that these video clips were coming out, I was analyzing and posting them on Twitter. And again, that was January 10th. I've seen maybe some variations, people trying to say it was January 13th. It absolutely was not. It was January 10th. I stress this because this is important. On that day, January 10th, homeowners were not allowed in that region. Now, unless Meghan went twice, which opens up a whole other can of worms, she could not have met the woman and the child she speaks of in her new Instagram video. So here's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to play you the entire clip first. And then after that, I am going to go break it down. I'll provide some commentary and I'll tie it all back to narcissism. So without further ado, here is the clip in its entirety.
Just told that something arrived that I had been waiting for. Oh my god. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, when my husband and I were in Altadena, we went to a community where all the homes were left in ashes. This mom had found a couple things, and as I was talking to her, I turned and looked and I saw this young woman and I said, "Oh my gosh, how old are you?" She's 15. She lives there. And her mom shared something with me and said that when they came back to see their house for the first time, which is as we were meeting them, that all that she'd been looking for in her home was the t-shirt from the Billie Eilish concert that she had just gone to, that she left in the washing machine or the dryer. And of course, they now see their home and the washing machine and the dryer are ash. They're not there anymore. And so I said, "Well, I don't know Billie Eilish, but I'm going to figure out how to get you this shirt." So I thought of everybody that I knew and I made a voice note and I was like, "Please, can someone get this voice note to Billie Eilish? Here's what I'm asking." You guys, I don't even know what all of this stuff means, but it's signed for her. Is that a thing? The lunchbox thing? I don't know. This is when I feel really old. Huge thank you, Billie Eilish. This is going to mean so much to her. And honestly, to Adam Levine and Bahati, you guys helped get this over the line. To everyone who's showing up for people in big and small ways to get through what's happened in California, just thank you so much. I'm going to go and email her mom now. Just wanted to share that with you guys.
Because I know many of you don't like her voice, I'm not going to replay the clip. I'm just going to analyze it and say out loud what it was that she said. So the first thing I noticed, that there are awkward timing and unnatural pauses. These pauses feel like she's waiting for a reaction or trying to recall a script rather than a naturally telling a heartfelt story. She is self-inserting as the hero. She sets up the tragedy, a family losing everything in the fire, but quickly pivots to herself as the savior. In quotation marks, she says, "So I said, I don't know Billie Eilish, but I'm going to figure out how to get you this shirt." This is the moment she makes herself the center of the story, portraying herself as the only person capable of solving the problem. She also makes it sound like she personally orchestrated everything, despite admitting that all she did was send out a voice note. She drops names Billie Eilish, Adam Levine, Bahati Prinsloo, because a simple act of kindness must involve celebrities. She frames the celebrities as her peers, subtly implying she has the kind of pull that can mobilize A-listers with a single message. This is something she did in her TIG days. There are references to many stars in her TIG blog that she never actually knew. And she would phrase this in a way when you're reading her TIG blog that she met this person or she knew this person, but in actuality, she had never met them. Examples were like Emma Watson, I think, and Heidi Klum, but she never actually met them. She just dropped the names. This is something that is typical of her. Knowing Meghan, we know that this is scripted, but it's a confusing script. She starts by when she talks about the lunchbox. Is that a thing? The lunchbox thing? I don't know. This is when I feel really old. This feels like a forced attempt at self-deprecation to seem relatable. Meghan and I are roughly the same age. Believe me, we had the same lunchboxes. She knows exactly what that is. Another thing she says, I don't even know what all this stuff means, but it's signed for her. This is an odd way to phrase gratitude, making it sound like she's both detached and taking credit at the same time. And finally, the ending, it's like there's PR over genuine emotion. Instead of closing with something personal, she suddenly shifts into PR mode, thanking everyone who's showing up for people in big and small ways. She concludes with, I'm going to go and email her mom now. It feels like an attempt to prove she's actually involved rather than a natural way to conclude. The whole thing is overly rehearsed with awkward pauses. She inserts herself as the fixer of the situation. She name drops celebrities to elevate her own status. She tries too hard to be relatable with forced asides. And she ends with a vague, PR friendly statement instead of an authentic emotional moment. So, that was my overall take from watching it. Now I want to go into it in a much more detailed and with a fine tooth comb. The video starts with, just told that something arrived, I've been waiting for, oh my god, end quote. The awkward pause before oh my god feels scripted. She's artificially building anticipation like a performer waiting for the audience's reaction rather than naturally reacting to the news. This is odd because normally when someone gets exciting news, they react immediately. The delay makes it feel staged. The next part says, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when my husband and I were in Altadena, we went to a community where all of the homes were left in ashes, end quote. Notice how she name drops Altadena, even though it's not necessary. It adds an artificial sense of location-based credibility, making it sound like it's an important mission. Also notice she refers to Harry as husband again, my husband. He doesn't have a name, he doesn't have an identity at all. So then she recounts her interaction with the mom, and as she was talking to the mom, she says, I turned and looked and I saw this young woman and I said, oh my gosh, how old are you? End quote. The pauses as she's telling this part of the story, it's like she's dramatically setting up the moment, directing a scene. The way she says, oh my gosh, how old are you, is a red flag to me because it makes it sound like she's positioning herself as the benevolent adult encountering a helpless child. Classic Meghan the Savior storytelling. The next thing that happens, Meghan says that the young girl said that she's 15 and she lives there. She states it in a robotic, matter-of-fact way, and there's actually a duper's delight smile while she's telling this part of the story. And also, she's making sure to highlight the tragedy before swooping in with her solution. Meghan then goes on to continue that the only thing this young girl had been looking for in her home was the t-shirt from the Billie Eilish concert that she had just gone to that she left in either the washing machine or the dryer. The way that she describes this, though, in the video, it seems like it's an extremely clunky sentence, full of unnecessary details. She takes forever to get to the point, making sure we know she was right there when the family returned, positioning herself as a witness to their grief. The red flag I see here is that the drawn out phrasing makes it sound like she's carefully constructing an emotional moment rather than simply recounting what happened. This is a manipulation that she is performing for her audience, in my opinion. The next thing she says is, and of course, they now see their home and their washing machine, their dryer, it's all ash. They're not there anymore. This sentence is also oddly structured and almost poetic, like she's crafting a dramatic movie line. It doesn't feel like normal speech. She then says, and so I said, I don't know Billie Eilish, but I'm going to figure out how to get you this shirt. End quote. At this point, she laughs hysterically, and to me, the reason she's doing that is because she is just so full of jubilee that she's going to be the one, or at least people are going to think that she's the one that set all of this into motion. It's basically, here comes Meghan to the rescue. That's what's being said here. And I think because of that feeling, because she knows that that's what's being portrayed, she's absolutely jubilant. She's framing herself as the only one who can make this happen. Despite having no personal connection to Billie Eilish, she could have just said, I wanted to help her find the shirt, but instead it's a grand proclamation. She then continues with, so I thought of everybody that I knew and I made a voice note and I was like, please, can someone get this voice note to Billie Eilish? End quote. The phrase everybody that I knew implies she has a vast network of important connections. She could have just sent a DM or email, but she's making it sound like a mission. It's strange because if she has to beg someone to get the note to Billie, then does she actually know all these people that she claims to know? At this point, she starts flipping through and showing the items that have been returned, and she ends up saying, look, it's signed for her, and she starts jumping up and down in glee. This is a classic Meghan trying to be relatable. She pretends to be out of touch with pop culture. I don't even know what all this stuff means, she says, in order to seem humble, but in reality, it's a setup to show how above it all she is while still helping. It seems forced. If she doesn't know what it means, why is she inserting herself into this process at all? She then shows the lunchbox. She says, is this a lunchbox thing? I don't know. This is when I feel really old. And again, she's forcing relatability. This sounds like she's trying to be the cool but clueless mom figure. And it's performative because she knows exactly what she's talking about. She's pretending not to make herself seem self-deprecating. She and I are of the same generation. We had those lunch boxes. The next sentiment is huge thank you to Billie Eilish. This is going to mean so much to her and honestly to Adam Levine and Bahati. You guys helped get this over the line, end quote. Notice the name dropping again. She shifts from thanking Billie Eilish to Adam Levine and Bahati. Why? Because this makes her look connected and important. She hasn't even told the audience who these people are. Like, I know Adam Levine because of Maroon 5, but her audience may not know who these people are, so it's just a strange thing to allude to. And again, it's name dropping to make herself look connected and important. The next sentence she says is to everyone who's showing up for people in big and small ways to get through what's happened to California, just thank you so much. End of quote. This is another generic, PR-friendly conclusion that turns a very specific moment into a vague, grandstanding message. It's off because if she truly cared about the girl, wouldn't she end with something more personal instead of a politician-style thank you? And the video ends with Meghan saying, I'm going to go and email her mom now. Just want to share that with you guys. End quote. She needs to say this to prove she's still involved. But why mention this at all? Is performative. The real Meghan Markle move would have been to quietly help the girl and let the family tell the story. Instead, she's broadcasting every step to make sure we all know what a great person she is. The final verdict, this is performative altruism. This isn't about helping a fire victim. It's about Meghan Markle making herself look selfless, connected, problem-solving, and a hero while subtly name-dropping celebrities. There are overly dramatic pauses and shifts of the camera angle. There's self-insertion of Meghan as the savior. unnecessary name dropping, forced relatability, and finally a closing that is PR friendly instead of a heartfelt moment. She's a brand, not a humanitarian. So I'm curious to know what you all think of this. I put this together very quickly, so I may have just rambled through part of it. It's just this whole topic really, really, really bothers me. I think this plus Uvalde and all of her other chasing the ambulance moments are in the top 5 worst things she's ever done. And for me, this one hits close to home because it's literally where I grew up, where this tragedy is happening. So, if this was interesting to you, please like and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. I appreciate it so much. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all soon. Goodbye. If Valentine's Day with a narcissist feels more like an emotional obstacle course than a celebration of love, you're not alone. This day can be incredibly triggering for them, which means it often becomes painful for you. That's why I put together a guide called Surviving Valentine's Day with a Narcissist Protecting Your Peace. Inside, I break down why this holiday brings out their worst, the tactics they use, and most importantly, how you can protect your energy. There are also some journaling prompts and recovery strategies to help you process everything afterwards. You can grab it now on my Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.